resolution number 31-09, which is recommending the issue be placed on the November 3rd, 2009 election ballot for the city of Whitehall for the residents to vote on whether the city of Whitehall shall prohibit the harboring of breed-specific dogs and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce resolution number 3109 and amend as presented.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Court and second by Mr. Niblock to amend resolution 31-09 as presented, which does change in the title. It strikes the word vote and replaces that with the word advice council. Then down in the body of the legislation, we have section 1, which is removing that first paragraph where it starts off with shall the city, and then replacing that with inserting the city of Whitehall has city council put legislation in place that best determines proper guidelines and results in supporting our community for your safety of daily living with vicious dogs. Those are the 2 amendments as presented. I have those 2 motions. Are there any questions or comments regarding the motions and amendments? Ms. Brooker, please call roll.
Thompson?
Yes.
Tanner?
Yes.
Noblock?
No.
Graham?
Yes.
Bailey?
No.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
LaPorte?
Yes.
And resolution 31-09 has been amended.
Mr. President, I ask for the suspension of all rules.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Ford and a second by Mr. Niblock to suspend the rules on amended resolution 31-09. Questions or comments on that motion, please? Here's Ms. Ford, please call roll.
Thompson?
Yes.
Tanner?
Yes.
Noblock?
Yes.
Graham?
Yes.
Bailey?
No.
Rodriguez?
No.
LaPorte?
Yes.
The rules have been suspended on amended resolution 31-09.
Mr. President, move to adopt.
Second.
Members, motion by Ms. Ford and a second by Mr. Niblock. Questions or comments on the motion regarding amended resolution 31-09, please?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You know, the purpose of this resolution, as I understand it, is to finally put to rest the issue of breed-specific legislation. Well, in fact, by passing this legislation, it would absolutely have the opposite effect. It's going to cause it to go on for many more months. This council's already dealt with this matter, and after many months of discussion, we enacted measures that would give it a fair chance to make our city as safe as possible. Those measures, they deal fairly with owners of all breeds of dogs, puts all responsibility for ownership, including the actions of their animals, where it belongs, with the owner. And if they're not responsible, they're going to pay the price for their irresponsibility. And that's the way it should be. You know, a piece of legislation like this has the possibility of starting us down the road that every time we have a piece of legislation passed that's not in total agreement by all council members, somewhere down the line, 1 or 2 of them are going to ask that we put the issue before the voters because they don't agree with the outcome and the majority of the council. I base my votes on fact, common sense, reliable information, and input from citizens. The majority of comments I've heard about this issue, all opposed, are all in opposition to any type of legislation breeding or banning any breeds. And that's what I was elected to do. So I stand by my previous vote on this matter. And this whole thing is being driven by emotion, and that's not the best way to make decisions. It's time for everyone to move on. Let's give our prior legislation the opportunity it deserves to work. That's all.
I'll ask for the operator, please.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I almost feel silly saying anything. You pretty much covered everything, and you did a very good job. As Service Director Ogden indicated, soon we'll be employing a animal control officer. That is an intricate part of this mechanism that we put in place, and it needs time to work. And also the dangerous and vicious board. some very good people on that board, and they do a very good job. Give them a chance. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions or comments?
Mr. President, I would just like to say one thing. Well, a couple of things. I want to thank Councilwoman LaFord for finding a way that we can get this to the voters, hopefully, and let the people of Whitehall decide this issue, because just as several of the men have said that they've had people come up to them on one side of this issue, just as many people on the board have come up to me and said that they're sorry that we did not ban the pit bulls. And so all this does, it's just advisory, it's not changing the law, but it's putting it in the hands of the people, and that's where this needs to be. And that's all I have to say. And thank you, Councilwoman LaFord, for all of your work on this.
Any other questions or comments on the motion?
Just one last comment. I just would like to say to everybody that has gone through this with us the last 18 months. I felt I came to a neutral ground for everybody to be able to be heard and all sides to be respected for what they want in their community. If I act on a motion, I guess that's me. That doesn't make me a bad person. I'm glad somebody up here has some emotion that shows their heart and